Hello kids! In today's video, we will be talking about the kingdom Animalia. The animal kingdom is quite diverse, so we will be going through many chapters together. Are you ready? Let's begin with amphibians. The word amphibian means two lives. That's because in early life, amphibians spend it underwater, but later in life, spend it on land. Amphibians are cold-blooded. This means that amphibians can't generate its own body heat. So if an amphibian is feeling a little too hot, they need to move to another area that is cooler to regulate their temperature. They are vertebrates as well. That means that they are a type of animal with a spine or backbone. You can see here in this X-ray photo where the spine is. Aquatic. Amphibians are aquatic since in their early life, they spend it living underwater. Here's an example. Tadpoles are one of the early stages of life for frogs. They breathe underwater through the use of their gills and swim with the use of their tails. Terrestrial. This means on land. As amphibians grow, they develop lungs to breathe and legs to move and live in land. Now let's talk about the characteristics of an amphibian. Amphibians have moist bodies. If you picked up an amphibian, its skin would feel wet and slippery. Amphibians don't have scales. Unlike fish or snakes, amphibians don't have scales. Instead, they have a smooth skin. Amphibians will die if their body dries out. Amphibians have a special skin that allows them to absorb water and oxygen, which stops them from getting dehydrated. Some amphibians are poisonous. That's right, poisonous amphibians release toxic chemicals through their skin, and this is to harm predators. The poison dart frog is a perfect example. You might notice that it has bright colors to it. This is to warn predators that it is poisonous and should not be attacked. There are over 8,000 amphibian species. Let's start with frogs and toads. Frogs and toads are amphibians that have long back legs, short front legs, webbed feet, no tails, and large eyes. Salamanders. Salamanders are a group of amphibians that share the characteristics of a long body, a tail, and short limbs. Newts are a type of salamander. Caecilians. Caecilians look like snakes or worms. They have no legs and live in rivers and streams where they burrow into the riverbed. The largest amphibian is the Chinese salamander. It can weigh up to 140 pounds and can be up to 6 feet long. That's pretty big for an amphibian. The smallest amphibian is the Paedophryne ameoensis. It is found in Papua New Guinea. It is only 7 millimeters long. That's even smaller than a dime. Next, we'll be talking about invertebrates. The animal kingdom can be divided into two large groups, vertebrates and invertebrates. The main difference between the two groups is that vertebrates have a backbone. Examples would be fish, amphibians, reptiles, and mammals. Whereas invertebrates are animals without a backbone. They range in size from microscopic mites to giant squids. Invertebrates are the most diverse and numerous groups of animals on Earth. Over 90% of all species on Earth are invertebrates. Did you know For every human on the planet, there are 200 million invertebrates. Invertebrates are cold-blooded animals that can live on land or in water. Most of the invertebrates are divided into 8 groups. Let's start with mollusk. Mollusks comprise a group of soft-bodied animals that include mussels, snails, clams, and sea slugs. The most common characteristic of mollusks is their shell, but some mollusks don't have shell, like octopus, squids, or the banana slug. The annelids are also called ringworms, and they are segmented. They are special because of the segmentation. If one is damaged, some annelids can still go on living. We humans are not segmented. We have one of everything. If we lose something, well, too bad. Examples of annelids are earthworms, ragworms, and leeches. Echinoderms, which means spiny-skinned. It is from the Greek word echinos, meaning spiny, and dermos, meaning skin. Echinoderms are characterized by hard spiny covering or skin. Some examples are starfish, sea cucumbers, and sea urchins. The next one is Cnidarians. Their body is made of 2 layers of cells, the inner and outer linings. Cnidarians have specialized cells that they use mainly for capturing prey. This includes corals, jellyfish, and sea anemones. Porifera, or sponges. They are multicellular organisms that have bodies full of pores and channels allowing water to circulate through them. Most sponges are found in seawater, only a few in freshwater. You may have seen a couple around your bathtub. The one around your bathtub might look like a sponge, but they are usually man-made. Next on the list would be nematodes, also known as roundworms. Nematodes are thread-like, unsegmented, and guess what? Well, they are round. They are very small and can be very microscopic. However, some can measure up to 1 meter long. Examples of nematodes would be whipworms and hookworms. Next would be Platyhelminthes, or flatworms. They are unsegmented and soft-bodied invertebrates. A clear characteristic you should remember is that they are flat. Examples would be tapeworm and planaria. On to the next, that would be arthropods. Arthropods are characterized by their jointed legs. About 75% of all animal species are arthropods. They are mainly divided into 4 groups. The first would be insects, which is considered to be the biggest category of arthropods. Insects are everywhere. Even in a simple backyard garden, you might find more than 20 species that include spiders, bees, mosquitoes, flies, butterflies, grasshoppers, aphids, beetles, ants, and many more. Next on the list would be arachnids. All arachnids have 8 legs. Examples would be spiders, tarantulas, and scorpions. The other group would be centipede and millipede. And finally, crustaceans, the last category of arthropods, which are mainly aquatic. Examples would be crabs, lobsters, and shrimps. And these are fun facts about invertebrates. Around 23% of all marine organisms are mollusks. The only hard body part of an octopus is a hooked beak at the end of its tentacles. Octopus have 8 tentacles, whereas cuttlefish and squid have 10. Some invertebrates, such as echinoderms, do not have heads. There are likely millions of invertebrates living in your house right now. They are called dust mites, and you can't see them. When a crustacean outgrows its shell, it sheds the shell and grows a new one. Lobsters, crabs, and shrimp all have 10 legs. The front 2 legs have pincers they can use to catch food and fight off predators. Some scorpion mothers protect their young by carrying them on their back. Now, we will be talking about reptiles. Reptiles are animals that are cold-blooded. Most reptiles lay eggs and their skin is covered with hard, dry scales. Cold-blooded means that they cannot maintain a constant body temperature. If a reptile wants to keep its body heat up, they will lay out under the sun in periods of time. There are many types of reptiles: alligators and crocodiles, snakes, lizards, and turtles. What's the difference between reptiles and amphibians? There are a few major differences that separate reptiles and amphibians. You see, amphibians go through a larval stage, like the tadpole, which turns into a frog. Reptiles don't do this. Also, their skin is different, where reptiles have scales for skin, but amphibians have moist glandular skin. The biggest reptile is the saltwater crocodile. This reptile can grow up to 2,000 pounds and 12.5 feet long. The longest snake is the reticulated python. The heaviest snake is the green anaconda. The biggest lizard is the Komodo dragon. The largest turtle is the leatherback turtle, which can weigh up to 1,800 pounds with an 8-foot long shell. The smallest reptile is thought to be the mini chameleon from Madagascar. The smallest snake is the thread snake, which can only grow to about 4 inches long. The fastest reptile is the spiny-tailed iguana, which can run up to 20 miles per hour. The fastest snake is the black mamba. Fun facts about reptiles. Did you know that crocodiles have been known to swallow rocks so they can dive deeper into the water? Some snakes have over 300 pairs of ribs. The shell of a turtle is made up of a bunch of bones, around a total of 60, all connected together. Turtles have no ears to hear. But they are taught to have excellent eyesight. Lizards and snakes smell with their tongues. On to the next chapter, and that would be birds. So what are birds? Birds, which belong in the class Aves, are a group of vertebrates which scientists believe to be evolved from theropod dinosaurs. Birds have feathers. They have wings. They lay eggs and are warm-blooded. They are also endothermic, which means that they are capable of the internal generation of heat. Some bird species are intelligent enough to create and use tools. Examples would be crows, ravens, and rooks. Another example would be the Egyptian vulture. Ostrich eggs are too hard to break, so to address this problem, Egyptian vultures use rocks to break it. Herons are also smart enough to use tools. They use bread as bait to lure fish. Some birds are expert swimmers as well. Birds have very lightweight bones. Also, their bones are hollow, which helps them fly. Most of the air that enters a bird is not used for breathing. It is used to cool down the bird's insides, which can easily become heated during flight. Like people, birds have a 4-chambered heart. It pumps blood very quickly through a bird's body to cope with the hard work of flying. Feathers provide a waterproof layer for birds and act as an insulator, so they can maintain a high body temperature. Birds with short beaks, such as sparrows and finches, eat small seeds. Cardinals and grosbeaks have slightly larger, stubby bills to hold the large seeds that they eat. Meat-eating birds like hawks and eagles have hooked bills to tear their prey. Woodpeckers have long, narrow bills for extracting insects from dead wood. Toucans have large, hollow bills for collecting fruit and cracking it apart. Most seabirds have long bills to capture and hold fish. Here are fun facts about birds. There are around 10,000 different species of birds worldwide. The ostrich is the largest bird in the world. It also lays the largest eggs and has the fastest maximum running speed. The chicken is the most common species of bird found in the world. Kiwis are endangered, flightless birds that live in New Zealand. They lay the largest eggs relative to their body size of any bird in the world. Hummingbirds can fly backwards. The bee hummingbird is the smallest living bird in the world, with a length of just 5 centimeters. Homing pigeons are bred to find their way home from long distances away and have been used for thousands of years to carry messages. The rarest bird in the world is a duck called the Madagascar pochard. It is estimated only 25 of these remain in the wild. Let's continue to the next chapter, insects. There are more types of insects than any other type of animal on the planet. The main categories of insects are butterflies, moths, beetles, centipedes, flies, grasshoppers, and social insects such as bees and termites. What makes an insect an insect? Let's find out. Insects all have a hard external covering made of something called chitin. Their bodies are made up of 3 sections called the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. All insects will have a pair of antennae on their head. They all have 6 legs connected to the thorax. Some insects have wings connected to the thorax and can fly. Insects are born from eggs. Young insects are called nymphs. As insects grow, they get a new hard outer covering by getting rid of the old covering and growing a new one. This process is called molting. Social insects live in large groups and work together to survive and build their homes. Some examples are bees, ants, wasps, and termites. Now let's talk about arachnids. There are over 100,000 species of arachnids. The word arachnid comes from a Greek word meaning spider. However, there are some non-spider-like bugs such as scorpions and ticks that are included in arachnids. So what makes an arachnid? Let's find out. They have 2 main body sections called the cephalothorax and the abdomen. They have 8 legs. Unlike insects, they do not have antennae or wings. Here are fun facts about insects. In a typical 1 square mile of forest or jungle, there are more insects than there are people on the entire planet.
Hello.
If you total the weight of all the ants in the world, they would weigh more than all the humans in the world combined. The average lifespan of a housefly is about 14 days. There are more types of beetles than any other type of animal. Bees sometimes fly up to 60 miles in 1 day. Ants can carry up to 50 times their own weight. That means if you were an ant and you weighed 100 pounds, you would be able to carry a good-sized car around your back. In this chapter, we'll be talking about fish. Fish. Fish are one of the many wonderful creatures that live under the sea. Let's start by learning the fins of a fish. This is the dorsal fin. This is the pectoral fin. This is the caudal fin. This is the anal fin. And this is the pelvic fin. Each fin has a role to help the fish swim. And each fin must work together to help the fish do many movements. So how do fish breathe underwater? They have gills. Gills help provide breathing for the fish. If you look closely, you can see that the gills are at work, helping the fish breathe underwater. Fish are also covered with scales. Scales provide protection to the fish and also help them swim. It's quiz time! Are you ready? Do you remember what fin this is? That's right, it's the caudal fin. What about this one? Do you remember this one too? That's right, it's the pelvic fin. What about this fin? Do you know what this one is called? That's right, it's the dorsal fin. Do you remember what you call this fin? You got it, it's the pectoral fin. What about this one? That's right, it's the anal fin. This one helps the fish breathe underwater. Do you know what this is called? That's right, gills. This one provides protection to the fish. Do you remember what this one is called? That's right, scales. Good job, you were great. Oh, I almost forgot to mention that there are two types of fish. Freshwater fish live in rivers or lakes or even ponds. Fish like catfish, salmon, trout, pikes are examples of freshwater fish. As for saltwater fish, they live in the ocean, such as lionfish, hogfish, hamlets, seahorses, and many more. Now that we're done with fish, let's talk about cartilaginous fish, such as sharks. Sharks are fish. They are members of a group of fish called cartilaginous fish, with a scientific name, Chondrichthyes. As the name suggests, shark skeletons are made out of cartilage, a substance which is similar to bone, but more flexible. Sharks have been around for 420 million years. They have existed before dinosaurs. That is simply amazing. There are over 450 species of sharks in the ocean. They range in size from 6 inches to 45 feet. The most well-known and feared shark is the great white shark. One of the most unusual-looking sharks is the hammerhead shark. This species has a strange hammer-shaped head with eyes on each side to give them a wider field of vision. The biggest type of shark is the whale shark. Not only the biggest type of shark, they're also the biggest type of fish in the world. The second largest type of fish in the world is also a shark, known as the basking shark. Sharks are very active at night, which is when they hunt. Sharks, you see, are very solitary animals that usually hunt and live alone. Most species of sharks are carnivores, meaning they are meat eaters. They're not very fussy and will eat anything they can, including fish, squid, crabs, dolphins, seals, and even other sharks. Other small species of sharks, however, don't eat any meat at all and rely on plankton to survive. Sharks have very good senses, which help them to hunt for prey. A shark's sense of smell is extremely sensitive. The great white shark, for example, can detect a single drop of blood in the water surrounding them. Sharks also have excellent hearing and vision. They can hear much deeper sounds than humans, and some species can detect sounds more than 700 feet away. Sharks can also see in the dark, which is great for hunting at night. As well as the main 5 senses, sharks also have an extra one called the ampullae of Lorenzini. This allows them to feel the electrical charge of prey in the water and is very useful for helping them to find food. Why do sharks have so many teeth? That's a good question. You see, every shark has multiple rows of teeth on the top and bottom of their mouth. These razor-sharp teeth help the shark to rip its food into smaller pieces. The teeth often fall out, but they are soon replaced by new teeth that move quickly into place. A shark can go through an average of 20,000 teeth in its lifetime. Not all sharks are fierce carnivores, by the way. Some species, such as the basking shark and the whale shark, are gentle giants that actually feed on plankton. Here are fun facts about sharks. Sharks swim around 8 kilometers an hour. Baby sharks are called pups. The great white shark is the only type of shark that puts its head above water. Sharks have a lateral line on their bodies which allows them to feel vibrations in the water around them. Sharks have very rough skin that is covered in sharp scales. There are 3 types of mammals, and they are placental, marsupials, and monotremes. Placental animals are characterized by the presence of a placenta. A placenta is a vascular organ that develops during gestation. Humans fall into this category as well. As for marsupials and monotremes, we will get into those too soon. But for now, let's begin with mammals. What is a mammal? A mammal is an animal that breathes air, has a backbone, and grows hair at some points during its life. In addition, all female mammals have glands that can produce milk, called the mammary glands. Mammals are among the most intelligent of all living creatures. There are over 4,000 different types of mammals. You see, mammals are very diverse. There are mammals that live above ground, mammals that can fly, mammals that live below ground, and mammals that live underwater. Mammals can live in locations of both warm temperatures and cold temperatures. Here's a good example. Camels can survive in the dry, hot desert, while polar bears can live near the cold polar regions of the Earth. The blue whale, which is a mammal, is the largest animal on Earth. The bull elephant, which is also a mammal, is the largest animal living on land. Mammals are warm-blooded animals. Their body temperature remains about the same their entire lives. Most mammals give birth to their young. However, there are 2 mammals that lay eggs, and that is the spiny anteater and the duck-billed platypus. Most mammals are helpless when they are babies. Adult mammals protect and help care for babies until they can survive on their own. The mammal most famous for caring for their babies is the mother kangaroo, who carries their babies in their pouch until they are about 1 year old. Mammals like mice only care for their young for about 1 month. Elephants care for their young for a long time, up to 10 years. Here are fun facts about mammals. All mammals except anteaters have teeth. Bats are the only mammals that can fly. Cheetahs are the fastest land animals and also mammals. They can run up to 70 miles per hour. Orca, or also known as killer whales, are one of the fiercest hunters of all animals. They are known to hunt whales and even polar bears. Orcas are also very smart and are featured in aquatic shows where they can show off their intelligence. Koalas sleep the longest of any animal. They can sleep up to 22 hours a day. Dolphin and whale babies do not sleep the first month of their life. On to the next chapter, marsupials. Marsupials are a group of mammals that are known for carrying their young in a pouch. The name marsupial comes from the word marsupium, or pouch, in which these animals carry and nurse their young. Marsupials are not fully developed at birth. They are tiny and blind. Right after birth, they climb up their mother's belly and begin to drink milk. Marsupials attach themselves to their mothers so they have a constant supply of milk to drink. After the young stop depending on their mother's milk, they can leave the pouch and look after themselves, but they run back to the pouch when danger threatens. Some marsupials do not have pouches. That's right, in these species, the young simply cling to their mother. Most marsupials range in size between a small cat and an average-sized dog, but they can be much larger or smaller. Marsupials live in forests, lakes, and streams. They also live in grasslands and even underground. There are actually over 250 types of marsupials. Over 200 species are found on the continent of Australia. However, 70 species are also found in North and South America. Marsupials can be categorized by their habitat, or place they live, and what they do. These include burrowing marsupials, like the wombat. They have sharp claws and are designed to dig into the ground. Terrestrial marsupials, like the kangaroo, have strong legs that help them move quickly over the ground. Gliders, like the sugar glider, are small marsupials who can jump and fly through the air with a thin layer of skin that connects their hands and feet and look like a parachute. Some marsupials, like koalas, live their entire lives in the trees. Semi-aquatic marsupials, like the yapok, live both in water and on land. Here are fun facts about marsupials. The largest marsupial is the red kangaroo of Australia. It can be 10 feet, around 3 meters long, from its head to the tip of its tail. The smallest marsupials are the mouse-like planigales. They grow to only about 4 inches, which is pretty much 10 centimeters long. Some marsupials do not have pouches. In these species, the young simply cling to the mother. Most marsupials are night creatures, so their most important sense are their sense of smell and hearing. Most marsupials have an extra scent gland which tell their neighbors whether they are boys or girls, if they are a stranger to the group, or if they are frightened or angry. There are over 40 species of kangaroos. The smaller kangaroos are called wallabies. A male kangaroo is called a boomer. A female kangaroo is a flyer, and a baby kangaroo is a joey. The name kangaroo came from the Aborigines through a mistake. That's right. An early European explorer asked an Aborigine what these strange hopping animals were, and the Aborigine replied, "Kangaroo," meaning, "I don't understand." The explorer thought he was naming the animal. Kangaroos fight with each other by boxing with their front paws, but defend themselves with powerful kicks from their hind legs. Now, let's talk about monotremes. Monotremes are one of the 3 main groups of living mammals, along with placentals and marsupials. Monotremes are the only mammals that lay eggs. The word monotreme comes from the Greek words mono and trema, meaning one and whole. This refers to the single opening monotremes have, which is used for excretion, and reproduction. Like almost all other mammals, they are also warm-blooded and have hair. Like other mammals, the monotremes nourish their young with milk produced in mammary glands. You see, monotremes have no nipples. However, the milk oozes out of mammary gland ducts onto the mother's fur, and the young lap it up. Monotreme eggs are protected by a soft, leathery shell, like the eggs of reptiles. When the eggs hatch, the young are relatively undeveloped and completely dependent on their parents. In both kinds of monotreme, the young break from the egg with the aid of an egg tooth and a fleshy nub called a caruncle. This feature can also be found in reptiles. There are only two kinds of monotreme that survive today: the platypus, which is native to Australia, and the echidnas, found in Australia, New Guinea, and nearby islands. Today, there are only 4 extant species of echidna, and they include the western long-beaked echidna, Sir David's long-beaked echidna, the eastern long-beaked echidna, and finally, the short-beaked echidna. So let's talk more about the 2 living monotremes in the world. Let's start with the duck-billed platypus. The platypus has a bill, duct webbed feet, and a tail like a beaver. They have electroreceptors similar to the shark. They lay eggs like a lizard. They have limbs on their side like a crocodile. And they are venomous like a snake. The platypus is the only Australian mammal known to be venomous. Males have a venomous spur above the heel of each hind leg, which some scientists believe are used to assert dominance over other males during breeding season. Platypuses are nocturnal. They sleep during the day and are active at night. When first discovered, the unusual look of a platypus caused considerable confusion and doubt among European naturalists and scientists, many of whom believed that the animal was a fake. Next, let's talk about echidnas, specifically the spiny anteater. They have spines like a porcupine, a beak like a bird, a pouch like a kangaroo, and they lay eggs like a reptile. When they've located a meal, the echidna's long tongue shoots out to scoop a snack. Echidna's tongues are covered in sticky mucus that makes it easier for them to catch prey. The female echidna lays a single egg into a pouch on its belly. The hatchling is quite embryonic and it lacks hind limbs. A newly hatched puggle weighs only about half as much as a miniature marshmallow. Amid an echidna's hair, sharp 2-inch spines provide protection from predators. If an alarmed echidna can't run away or hide, it curls up into a prickly ball. They are electroreceptive. Like the platypus, the echidna has an electroreceptive system. Here are fun facts about monotremes. A unique feature that platypus have is that they have no stomach. That's right, their food is digested straight from the gullet to the intestines. A baby echidna and platypus are called a puggle. In 1991, a fossil tooth of a 61-million-year-old platypus was found in southern Argentina, since named Monotrematum. Platypuses or platypi. The plural of platypus is platypuses. Newly hatched platypuses are the size of lima beans. Platypus is one of the only 3 mammals that produce venom. The others are the slow loris and the European mole. Adult monotremes don't have teeth. And finally, they live to about 10 years. And finally, we will learn about the distinct group of animals based upon what they eat. Namely, herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. Let's start with herbivores. What is a herbivore? A herbivore is an animal that does not eat meat, but instead only eats plants. Let's go through some examples. Are you ready? Elephant, Elephants eat grass, leaves, wild fruits, and flowers. Deer. Deers eat leaves, barks, nuts, and acorns. Horse. Horses eat hay, grass, and grains. Goat. Goats eat hay and grass. Did you notice something similar with these animals? That's right, they don't eat meat. Instead, they eat plants. It's quiz time! Are elephants herbivores? Yes or no? Yes. Elephants eat grass, leaves, fruits, and flowers. Are deers herbivores? Yes or no? Yes. Deers eat leaves, barks, nuts, and acorns. Are horses herbivores? Yes or no? Yes. Horses eat hay, grass, and grains. Are goats herbivores? Yes or no? Yes. Goats eat hay and grass. Excellent! You did great. Second, carnivores. What is a carnivore? A carnivore is an animal that prefers to eat meat and prefers to not eat plants. Let's go through some examples. Are you ready? Lion. Lions are carnivores. They eat giraffes, wild hogs, antelopes, and more. Tigers. Tigers are carnivores. They eat elk, deer, buffaloes, and more. Crocodile. Crocodiles are carnivores as well. They eat birds, antelopes, turtles, emu, and many more. Dogs. Dogs are carnivores too. They prefer to eat beef, pork, and chicken. Did you notice something similar with these animals? That's right, they all prefer to eat meat. It's quiz time! Are you ready? Let's go! Are lions carnivores? Yes or no? Yes. Lions are carnivores. They eat giraffes, wild hogs, antelopes, and more. Are tigers carnivores? Yes or no? Yes. Tigers are carnivores. They eat elk, deer, buffalo, and more. Are crocodiles carnivores? Yes or no? Yes. Crocodiles are carnivores. They eat bird, antelopes, turtles, emu, and many more. Are dogs carnivores? Yes or no? Yes. Dogs are carnivores. They prefer to eat beef, pork, and chicken. Excellent. You did great. And finally, omnivores. What is an omnivore? Omnivores are animals that can survive eating both meat and plant. Omnivores obtain energy from both food sources. Let's go through some examples. Are you ready? Bear. Bears eat fish, insects, and fresh meat, but they also eat berries, roots, and leaves. Raccoon. Raccoons eat worms, insects, and small-sized animals, but they also eat walnuts, acorns, and nuts. Chimpanzee. Chimpanzees eat birds, insects, and medium-sized animals. However, they also eat stems, seeds, fruits, and leaves. Pig. Pigs eat fish and insects, but they also eat flowers, fruits, roots, and leaves. So, did you notice something similar with these animals? That's right. They can survive eating both plant and meat. It's quiz time! Are you ready? Let's go! Bears. Are bears omnivores? Yes or no? Yes. Bears are omnivores. Bears eat fish, insects, and fresh meat, but they also eat berries, roots, and leaves. Raccoons. Are raccoons omnivores? Yes or no? Yes. Raccoons are omnivores. Raccoons eat worms, insects, and small-sized animals, but they also eat walnuts, acorns, and nuts. Chimpanzee. Are chimpanzees omnivores? Yes or no? Yes. Chimpanzees are omnivores. Chimpanzees eat birds, insects, and medium-sized animals. However, they also eat stems, seeds, fruits, and leaves. Pig. Are pigs omnivores? Yes or no? Yes. Pigs are omnivores. Pigs eat fish and insects, but they also eat flowers, fruits, roots, and leaves. Excellent! One more important thing to mention. We humans are omnivores as well. That's right. Do you enjoy eating hamburgers and spaghetti, but also enjoy eating vegetables and fruits such as carrots and oranges? Well, that proves that you are an omnivore as well. Meat, fruit, and vegetables all play a key role to our nutrition and health, so eat wisely. Before we wrap things up, let's do the alphabet with animals.
Hey kids, let's learn the alphabet together. To make it more fun, let's learn about the alphabet along with animals. Are you ready? A. A is for antelope. B. B is for bear. C. C is for cheetah. D. D is for dog. E. E is for eagle. F. F is for fox. G. G is for goat. H. H is for horse. I. I is for iguana. J. J is for jaguar. K. K is for kangaroo. L. L is for lion. M. M is for monkey. N. N is for newt. O. O is for octopus. P. P is for penguin. Q. Q is for quail. R. R is for rhino. S. S is for scorpion. T. T is for tiger. U. U is for urchin. V. V is for viper. W. W is for wolf. X. X is for cynops. Y. Y is for yak. Z. Z is for zebra. We did great!
And that is it. I hope you enjoyed learning about the kingdom Animalia today. We will be back with more videos soon. So take care now. Bye-bye! If you enjoyed the video and want to see more videos from us, please click the subscribe button. Also, give us a like. That will help us. We thank you so much and we do hope that you enjoy our videos. See you soon!